Now, many of you have heard about the Clear bra. What we're here to share with you is that they're not all created equal. Again, it goes down to product quality choice, staffing choices, business integrity, and people that really care about what they do. And we have, again, in Northern Nevada, we're really blessed with some of the absolute finest shops in our country. And definitely when it comes to invisible bras or invisible shields, as they are referred to as well, Sierra Invisible Shield is your number one choice. So please welcome Dexter and Dex with Sierra Invisible Shield to our show.
Thank you, Mitch.
Well, thank you very much, Mitch.
Now, I just said Dexter and Dex, but this is family-owned and operated, so sitting in front of me are two generations of family here. And family-owned and operated, by the way, used to really mean something. I'm here to tell you it still does. And this is the absolute epitome of what a quality family looks like and breathes like and works together like. So tell us a little bit about how you got into the paint protection film business and where it all started.
Yeah, Mitch, it went back, a handful of years now. In 2004, I got out of the corporate world and decided to do something in the automotive area because I have a high automotive interest, everything from SCCA racing to repairing and fixing my own cars.
You wouldn't say that you love cars then, would you?
No, I do. I love cars. And I wanted to start a business with both my sons, Dexter Jr. and his brother Tom. And so over the years, this is what we've progressed into, and it's been a great journey.
Well, I mentioned at the beginning of the show that all bras are not created equally, and they're not all installed the same. So let's begin with the staffing requirements with you and what goes into a proper installation.
Well, first of all, we have a complete conversation with our customer, find out their needs, find out driving style, habits, commute, and then it really takes a full conversation with the customer.
Well, without breezing over that, because we had that conversation before, and even I was a little bit surprised with the response to that, is what would you need to know if I just want a clear bra in my car? Why would you need to know my driving habits? How does that play into your recommendations for a kit for their car?
Well, if you live in Truckee and commute to Reno every day, you're dealing with snow and sand, and you come into Reno, it's not as, the roads aren't as bad, but typically what we'll do is if you commute Tahoe, Truckee area, we know it's a bit more hard, the roads are a bit more harsh, so we'll do little extra things, pillars, roof, rockers.
So you'll add additional parts
Correct.
of film to protect the inclement environments that they're traveling through because they're going to be exposed to more risk of that.
Correct.
And then tell us a little bit about the staff and their training that goes into the installation process, because I think this is really what's, I will say it, and I'm on the record saying it, makes you the best choice for a clear bra in Northern Nevada is the quality of that installation. And the problems I've seen that can go wrong if they're not installed right are extraordinary. Tell us a little bit about your staffing.
Okay, yeah, we've got a couple young individuals along with both my sons that have been professionally trained and certified from the manufacturer of the film. And just to mention, it's a Venture Shield film, and it's manufactured and owned by 3M. But our apprentice, the installers, go through a 6-month, almost to a year, training session at the shop under supervision, and then when they can pass the test, then we graduate them to being certified. They get certified. Then they are full-fledged installers. And then the rest of it is hands-on, everyday experiences of how the film reacts and how it's applied to the car, and some of the difficulties in how we solve basic installation problems.
Well, let's talk about some of those, if you don't mind, real quick. And those, I've seen them, is when bras are overworked.
Yeah, with the bras are all inexperienced installer can overwork the bra, and what happens is then you get stretch lines and you get some silvering and you get pullback lines. When you have a pretty experienced installer, he knows how to take that pattern and manipulate in a way where there's less stretch and it goes on a little smoother and easier. It really helps the overall appearance of an experienced installer.
A poor installation, I've seen it. If material's stretched, it looks like orange peel on the paint, and it's not the paint at all. It's a poor
Correct.
bra installation.
Or it's moving of the adhesives and it's not properly installed. It doesn't fit right. And what will happen is if it doesn't look like it fits right, an inexperienced installer will pull back and try to rework it, and that's where the overall.
And I've seen crease lines. I've seen dirt underneath them. I mean, I've seen some pretty tragic installations over the decades, and this is why I want people to understand that it really goes into the quality of the installation, and really, getting to know the two of you, it's really been apparent to me that the quality of your installers, it really is the outcome of the final product. And you were talking to me about a couple of your installers that are master bra installers. So tell us about those members of your staff.
Correct. It's Reed and Eric, great guys, experienced, great passion for cars. We all spend roughly 8 to 12 hours a day at our shop. Sometimes the guys will spend, they've got their own projects, so it's a great place to work. Again, they've got their own projects and their own passions, and it's.
Well, I think one of the things that I really loved, and this really moved and inspired me, so if you don't mind, I'd like to have our community get a feeling for this, was what you said about why that's so important to you, that the installation and the process and the material, the quality of film that you're using and all of that. It costs you more. You have higher trained technicians. It costs more to employ them. It costs more for a higher quality film. But what you said to me is when you're out in the community, what that translates to, and that really moved me.
Well, it's with doing over 4,200 cars in the area. It's a small area, and with over 4,200 cars and great customer base, I can't go anywhere without running into a customer. I don't always remember their names, but I'll recognize their face and I'll walk up and shake their hand. And it's nice to be able to have a smile and know that we did a good job for the customer.
And not be afraid to walk towards them is what you said to me.
Of course not.
And that's a big part of doing quality work and having your name in a community mean something to you. Now, also, a lot of people will have the opportunity to acquire these through the process of purchasing a car, and you can save them a lot of money. So, hundreds of dollars is what I understand, and offering them even more pieces. I think we've heard a lot. People that have shopped these have heard about the 5-piece, 6-piece, 7-piece. Tell us a little bit about yours because it makes dwarfs them in coverage.
Right. Mitch, thank you for bringing that up because we'll get phone calls for estimates and to introduce our product, and it'll be the 5-piece, 6-piece, like you mentioned. What we try to do.
What is a 5-piece, if you don't mind explaining that?
The 5-piece is real simple. Put your hand up and start counting. 1 mirror, 2 mirrors, 2 fenders, and a hood. That's 5 pieces. What the pieces you're missing is the lower front bumper, and so a lot of times Headlights. So when we look at the complete kit, we talk specifically for the complete kit.
And at the same time, too, you go much farther than that, too. Typically, how many pieces are in your average kit?
Our average kit can be 12 plus pieces. One thing the audience needs to know is everything's computer cut. So everything comes out of a library. Everything is AutoCAD cut for precision. So every kit that we do is replicated over and over again. So we do not take a raw film. And once again, this is a clear urethane film. That's the product. So I want the listeners to know that it's a plastic urethane product that's adhesive backed, and it's activated when we take the pattern to the car and use a slip solution and a squeegees, and then we carefully form the film and tack it down and then squeegee it to fit the car every time the same way, same place. Now, if a car comes in that has a unique feature or a aftermarket front bumper, we can go in and we can change the computer patterns or we can custom install it. So there's probably nothing that we can't do.
Well, and one of the things, too, that is very unique, and not everybody does this. As a matter of fact, I'm not aware of another one in Northern Nevada that does this, is all of your pieces are wrapped. And explain the difference there, if you will.
Correct. The leading edge of the hood, for an example, some other installers throughout the country, not just Nevada, will put a piece on there more like a sticker, and leave that whole leading edge of the hood exposed. And what we do a little differently is all of our patterns, we'll actually wrap the whole leading edge of the hood. There's been so many times where I've seen other installers that don't wrap, and you can count 5, 6, 7, 8 chips right on that leading edge.
Which is the first place that something's going to come up and hit is the leading edge of that hood. And so your material actually goes out
And it wraps around.
down and underneath again.
It sort of defeats the purpose not to wrap.
And so the quality of even that, but you were mentioning the AutoCAD, and you actually have found that in some cases, if there's minute adjustments that need to be made, that you actually have design capabilities and save that model car. So explain what I'm talking about. You mentioned a Subaru as an example.
Correct. For an example, after doing a few Subarus, our guys, Reed and Eric, with their experience, they know how a pattern should fit and the proper coverage. Sometimes not all the designers get the pattern perfect, especially like on a 2012. The patterns are a little different from, say, a 9 or a 10. Reed and Eric and ourselves have the ability to manipulate the pattern by AutoCAD. We can extend coverage in certain areas that don't quite cover all the way in. It's the coverage that we would want on our cars, and so what we do is we'll actually manipulate the pattern and then save that pattern so it improves upon the original designer's pattern.
Well, for people that haven't had a bra installed in the past, tell them some of the leading reasons why people even have these put on their vehicle.
The best way to start with that is just the road hazards, particles in the air, oncoming traffic kicking up the stones from construction or the materials put down in the wintertime. And it's the primary frontal area of your automobile that needs to be protected. And anybody can go out in the parking lot and look at the next door neighbor's car. Maybe it's 2 years old, and see a lot of stone chips, sand chips, and abrasion, scrapes, and so on and so forth to the front of their car. So our whole business is around the primary frontal area of the car protection.
And it's more than just visual. So you protect the visual appearance of the front end of the vehicle, but there's some other benefits too. We were talking about the fact that some of our listeners lease their vehicles, and they may not be aware of this, but on the return of that lease, they can get charged for above normal wear and tear damage. And that means all of those things, they could be charged for paint work.
Yeah, yes, they can, Mitch. And the other thing that I think the listening audience would like to know, and maybe the first question is, because we get this question all the time on estimates that we give out, and people that come to the shop to see how we do it, they're always concerned about the fading. And in the old days, when you put the leather bra on the front of a red car, 2 years later you would take the vinyl bra off and find a difference in color of the red. These bras are clear urethane, and when they're removed, whenever they need to be removed at the end of when you want to replace them and or sell a car, it's UV stable, so it does not leave a fading line in the paint surfaces. So it's what everybody ultimately wants.
Well, and this high-quality product as well that you're using, which we talked about the fact that you spend considerably more per roll than your competitors do, also doesn't fade or oxidize or change yellow as well.
Exactly. That's the turning yellow is an old industry problem, and the industry has solved that problem. Our warranties, 5-year lifetime the warranties that we have, that assure our customer that there's not going to be a problem. More importantly, we stand behind our product with our own personal guarantee, and we will take care of our customers' concerns anytime, any place.
Well, and you also offer the full services of even a detail shop. So briefly describe it, the fact that they can come to you, and even on that used vehicle, you can have rock chips touched up, have it detailed, and have this installed. But you have one of the finest detail shops in town too.
We've got Yuri, who's got over 20 years of experience, and so the first thing we do is started with our customers. First thing we do is we'll get the car in and do a complete wash, get into our bra area and put the bra on. But yeah, our detail takes care of our customer.
Complete detail services as well. How do they get a hold of you?
Just give us a phone call. We're there. Sometimes I feel like 24/7, but we're there during normal business hours. But it's 857-2606.
That's Dexter and Dex with Sierra Invisible Shield in Reno, and absolutely give them a call. Stop by. They'll actually show you the difference in their process, their products, and their installation, and we're proud to have you on our show.
Thank you, Mitch.
Mitch, thank you very much.